Okay, so you're wondering, what exactly is Stadia?
Level 857 Video Game Podcast.
Google is shutting down its in-house Stadia game development studios.
He said, "Thank God."
So,
Isn't that like one foot in the coffin?
well, let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, this doesn't come as a surprise to anyone. All right, so they originally hired the person who was doing, like, there was a woman who was doing God of War, right?
Yep.
She was making God of War. She was doing
She
it.
was the head director.
And they hired her to lead this new division that they had to make some astounding new games that are only for Stadia, that you can only find there. And then they realized, hey, this costs a lot of money, and it's going to take a lot of time, more than a year, couple of years. So they said, by that time, this is going to be no Stadia, so we might as well get rid of this right now because
like
we
Google.
can't focus. So, they did some restructuring and said that we're gonna let the third parties make all these titles, and so be it. We'll see what happens with it. So basically, that's saying we have no plans for Stadia. Sorry about that.
Well, it's the same. It's very similar to what happened with the PlayStation Vita, where the first party company, like Sony, was just like, we're not making any more.
But they
first
made
party
some.
games.
They made first party.
Oh, they did.
but they marketed it wrong.
Yeah.
Because they said this is a portable PlayStation. This is a portable PS3.
Yes.
And it did not.
Well, they should
Not
have.
do
They
it.
should have promoted. There was a lot of things they did wrong, but
You can take your game with you.
yeah.
You can take your save game with you.
Well, the memory card prices were insane.
You
but-
can't take your memory card because you didn't buy it.
Okay.
But yeah, so Stadia, I mean, listen, I was one of the ones who was like, oh, I got to get this. I got to get my name in there. Because when you don't get your name in there, you got to put numbers after and all that. I was like, yo, listen, I'm going to get this right off the bat, get my name in there and have my game tag. And I'm like, oh, it's $150 or something to
Right.
get the controller and the Google thing. And I'm like, the Chromecast. I was like, I'm going to get on that right away. Pre-order. I was like, nah, you know what? No, hold on. Let me hold off on this a little bit. I don't really need to be on there just yet.
Hold on.
Yeah, so I watched how the bots, like how they released it, and everybody was like, yeah, it's okay. It's not bad, but I don't see their like the problems with the store and how you had to buy your own stuff for just that and stuff like that. It wasn't like you're renting stuff to do it, or you can use the games that you bought. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna hold off a little bit and see how this plays out. And then a couple of months later, I get an email. It says, would you like a free Stadia controller and Chromecast? And I was like, word? For free?
It's not a good
This thing
sign.
that I was going to buy for $100-something, you're going to give me for free just for being a member of your stuff? Because I got YouTube Premiere.
Yeah,
Or
Premium.
What was it? Premium? Yeah. I got that. And I'm like, okay, y'all giving it? I'll take that. That controller's pretty cool. So a couple of weeks after that, boom, it's in the mail. I got it. And I tried it. I played Panzer Dragoon on there and stuff. It was not bad. It's not bad. It's a good service. And especially if you got a computer that's not good at running stuff, streaming it off there is going to be perfect. So
Right.
I think what they needed to be focused on is
Marketing.
you can use your $100 computer to play these high-end games with the high graphics. And you don't have to pay for this $800 graphics card to play some of these games. And especially, they missed the boat because Cyberpunk was available for it.
Yes.
And all these people running Cyberpunk on the crappy systems that they can't run it on. The streamers, as long as they had good internet, didn't have much of a problem playing it. So they could have marketed the hell out of that and be like, listen, you can't play it on your new system, but you can play it on Stadia. They didn't say nothing about that. And they missed the boat.
I'm kind of curious to know what the Amazon Luna with their service.
I haven't heard nothing about
Exactly, because they made the announcement that they launched
They
the
need to
beta.
stop. They need to stop.
I haven't heard
with
anything
this.
about Luna.
Well, I haven't heard anything. I know it's still in beta. They're still testing it out and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's available now.
Maybe
You
they're waiting to
can't
see
play
what
it.
Stadia is doing wrong so they can figure it out.
But I mean,
That
like,
would be the smart move.
Yeah, exactly.
the problem is also the fact that Google, in general, they seem to fall into the habit of dropping certain apps that they have.
It depends on how much money they're losing, obviously.
They usually drop their apps. Look, I used to have Google Play Music.
yeah.
They changed that. They dropped it. Now
Because
it's
they
Google
have Google.
Podcast, and then it's
They have YouTube
Music.
They have YouTube Music. Why have double? They have too many of the same thing.
They changed it, and it's just like, and then they dropped it. And I actually like the app. I'm like, I like the Google Play app.
They gave you warning.
Why they?
But they do it all the time.
Why they give it? They do it a lot.
They dropped the Google Slate today. Like
Yeah.
they do this.
No, they do this a lot.
Which means that they're going to drop Stadia soon.
Yes.
Which means that you should not invest
Yes.
in Stadia.
Yes.
Because this exactly means that you should not put any money into the stuff because you have to buy it for Stadia.
Unless you're a collector and you want the controller.
I got the controller. It's dope. Like the controller is dope.
This game business thing is tough, man. If you're gonna do a streaming service and freaking Microsoft's doing a
Microsoft
streaming
has a better
service, and Sony's doing a streaming service, and Nintendo's got
Sony has a
a
streaming
streaming service.
I don't know about Nintendo streaming service, but you said it was okay, right? When you played,
It works good, man. I
Nah,
can play
stop. When you
Mario
played,
Kart. I can play my
when you played Control on it, you said it was okay, right? The streaming.
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
There was two modes.
the
The
cloud,
graphics
yes.
are up, or like the frame rate's better, or some
Yeah.
shit like that. When the graphics were up, there was some little
Wasn't
skips.
there yet? Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't there yet, but the other way was fine. But it was a shitty demo though. so
But it's up to
we
the
can't
internet to
talk about it.
determine how smooth it's going to
Yeah,
be. So
right.
yeah, I mean they got the right. Like Microsoft right now has the best plan for it.
Right.
Because you can play the games that you have on there. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
buy nothing special that's only for their streaming program. And to play it on your phone, I played Battletoads on the phone. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And it looked great. I played Gears of War. I didn't play it. I put it on to show people at work.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, Gears of War 5 is on my phone. And the graphics were the same. I was like, this is crazy.
They're like, it's a video. No,
But that's the future, though.
You're playing a trailer.
Yeah.
yeah.
But when it works, it's the future. I mean, Pac-Man, what do you think of this whole streaming thing and what Stadia is going through?
I mean, I don't even have internet to like, let alone Stadia or anything else. So like when that thing came out, it was just like a pile of dog
Yeah.
shit falling in front of me. Like I stepped over it and moved on to like my Super Nintendo and went back and enjoyed that. Like I can see it being the wave of the future once people have the internet to support it. But the problem is they tried it with On Live, right?
remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys ever. I had a subscription to On Live back when I had like cable internet, and it worked out okay. But even then, it was pretty crappy. And I haven't heard a lot of great reviews unless you're sitting on a pretty sweet connection. So I don't know. I mean, we might still be 5 years away from a majority of people, if not longer, enjoying any of those services. So, and I'm talking about like if you could download it, you're fine. But if you're trying to literally stream that data in right now, and you live anywhere except for the main rural cities, urban cities, you're
exactly.
screwed.
Yeah.
So.
No.
And I'm in that bucket. Like I'm in there with another 250 million people that can't ever use it. So
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense not to invest in
Which
it.
means that, like, we're in New York.
And that makes sense
Right.
as far as the streaming, because at least Game Pass allows you to download the games and then
Right.
play the games on your system at the very least. That's why straight streaming is not going to.
Well,
Well,
that's
it should be in-
Stadia.
I could do that. I could definitely do, like I'll set it up to download, wait 24 hours and then play it. But for right now, I mean, that is a better solution than for me to ever
Yeah.
jump on Google Stadia.
Yeah.
And I never tried it. I don't even know how the controller felt. I know some people said it was okay. Some people were like, it's
like a
worth it,
PlayStation
so-
controller.
Yeah, it's like
It felt like a
very
PlayStation
similar.
controller.
Yeah.
But that's the way to
Damn, Google.
transition into the future is if you want it to fully be like online.
Well, that's
Is
what
to
I mean
go-
when I say
is to do like a hybrid with like you can download it and you have the option of going online like streaming.
But I mean, once, like I said, in the future, when everybody does have a
Right.
good streaming, or they figure out how to get people the next
Right.
step in
Right.
streaming bandwidth,
Right.
like, remember when you just downloaded an MP3 and it used to take an hour?
Yep.
And you're like, oh, it takes 3
Yeah.
seconds now. Like,
Right.
like when it gets to that point
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that type of data, it's something like, oh, this has to be the way to do it.
Right.
I think that it's going to be it'll be towers instead. Like it won't be hard lines and ground lines. Like they'll eventually move everything to 5, 6G, 7G, whatever that is. I don't know if we're going to directly like plug into some satellite bullshit and all turn into cyborgs.
You're gonna
Mass Effect.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty damn close. So, I mean, right now we have terrible internet out here, but my wife has 5G
Oh, that's
service, and so her phone is the fastest device in the house right now.
Probably faster than ours.
So that could go
5G
that
is
way.
not bad. But they're gonna have you plug into yourself and use your own.
Oh, dude.
blood.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
Yes, you're like, I'm feeling a little tired today.
Plug into
I can't
yourself.
stream today. I'm
When you
tired.
download, you take your finger, you're like,
You gotta go to you gotta go to sleep and recharge.
I want to learn a new
Plug it into
language.
the Matrix.
Yeah,
That's how it all
exactly.
starts.
Yeah,
Unplug your
I
neck.
know kung fu.
That's the future, man.